Hey everybody, welcome to the Art of Comics. I am excited once again to share with you art tools, and I got inks, and today we're going to talk about inks, what is cool, what I use, what I think is the best ink from my experiences about all these different things. So we can sit here and talk about ink for days, without a doubt. But we're going to go ahead and talk about some things that I just got. We're going to do some tests and see what's up. A couple things about ink. You got to have the right ink and the right paper. There's a whole combinational, element to this. Howard Chaykin, when I worked for him as an assistant a few years back, he used, I believe it was like a Pelican. It was either a pure Pelican or it was Pelican mixed with something. And he would open the cap. He would let the cap out, and he would let it just. He would let it kind of get concentrated. That's what he would do. I never used the Pelican. For comics. So this is for drawing on paper for comics. I always want something waterproof, and so what I use is this bad boy and this bad boy. I use Rapidograph Black India ink. This stuff. It's like $7 on Amazon. I love this. This is what Jean-Paul Léon used. Rest in peace. He turned me on to this. I love this ink. This is the blackest of black ink. In fact, maybe we'll do some tests and we'll do that. Maybe I should get some water. Let me get a little bit of water. We'll do some tests with this. I use this, and I also use Dr. P.H. Martin Black Star. This matte. This is the best. These two, to me, are the gold standard. I love these for comics. Waterproof. This is the ink I recommend. Don't even think about Black Magic, Higgins. Don't even think about that. Okay? That's what I got. Now, sit on the ball of that. What we just got in the mail, though, was this, which is Dr. P.H. Martin's Ocean, which is for fountain pens. Yeah, dude, we're going to talk about fountain pens. That's the whole point of this. And I got some carbon ink. This also is for fountain pens. The deal is I want to draw comics waterproof because I'm going to watercolor over them, but I don't want to always have to use my nibs and my speedballs and all this stuff. I want to use my fountain pens. Well, all my fountain pens, I've been using stuff like this. I've been using Noodles ink. I've been using, and this is, what is this? Dynamite or Diamine ink, which is great. They're beautiful inks, but they're not waterproof. I've been using those, so I want something waterproof. In theory, these are. I got Sailor, which is really nice. This is, in theory, waterproof. We'll test it here. And then I just bought this in Little Tokyo, too. This is Lemon Toolbar. This is supposedly waterproof. So we're going to test how waterproof these things are. We're going to test the blacks, how black they look, how waterproof these colors are, and let's just see what's up. And we're going to have some different papers. I have some crappy computer paper. I have some sketch paper, some like artist drawing paper, which is just somewhat, 100 grams. And then I have some vellum, like Bristol board, okay? So I usually draw comics on this, but we're going to try different papers, different ink combos, brushes, nibs, and we're going to use fountain pens, and we're going to see how this freaking thing works. So let's do this right here. Notice, this is messy. You know why? We're not going to make this clean. We're not doing some kind of video where it looks like a damn production. No, we're doing a true artist's living space, and this is what artists have. They have messes, dude. This is reality. And so you're going to see this is like warts and all. Here we go. Let me get some water, and let's do this. Okay, guys, we got our water. So here's some fountain pens. Now, I'm into fountain pens. I really usually don't draw comics with fountain pens. In fact, I've never drawn comics with fountain pens. I use them for writing, right? I love them. I'm a nerd. I'm into it, okay? You are too, probably, if you're watching this video. But I thought, well, why aren't I using these for comics? Well, the main reason is I haven't found a good ink that is waterproof. Not only water resistant, but waterproof, something like these guys. You cannot put these inks into fountain pens because of the viscosity and the elements of these. It just won't work. So you have to have special type of fountain pen ink for them. That's what these guys are. Now, fountain pen ink is just a different chemical setup, and so they're made for these. The problem is a lot of these are not waterproof. Well, according to the paperwork, these are. So we're going to test that today. If I can get these guys with good pen, good watercolor, and waterproofing, then guess what? Boom, let's do it. Let's bump it up. So I'm going to test it with the best of the best, which are these guys, these. So what we're using. I love Lami's. If you guys aren't familiar with Lamy, it's a German company. This is the Safari. This is the, oh hell, I forgot what it's called. I should know that. Safari and something better than the Safari, the Alpha, or I don't know what the hell. This is a Pilot Metropolitan. I love this pen. This is super easy. It's cheap. It's like 18 bucks. This is a great fountain pen, especially for beginners. This is the Waterman. This is kind of more fancy, the gold nib, French company, expensive, okay, but nice. And this is a kind of like a weird flexi nib. I like this pen. It's strange. So those are the pens. We have the Sailor with this. This has got Sailor in it. So Sailor is a Japanese. This is a blue, so I really wish I would have black because I ain't gonna draw comics in blue. And these have other things in it. We're not gonna mess with those. And I'll put this in here, okay? And we'll do the carbon with brushes and stuff, okay? So let's do this. Have you guys seen how this works? I'll show you right now how this works. So I'm really curious how this is gonna work. So the Pilots have like a bladder here that you just squeeze. I'm going to squeeze the bladder, put it in, suck it up slowly. Okay, it's in there, theory. Screw it back up. Wipe it. Okay, good. Now, so this is filled. So this is with this one, this is with this one, okay? And then we're going to test out these guys. I love the Diamine. They're just a beautiful color. This is the Aurora Borealis, kind of a blue, and this is like a ox blood, which I put in the Noodles ink just because the problem with these is the opening is just too narrow to like put your pins in. So that's bad. Carbon ink is supposed to be one of the best black waterproofs. And then this is just a cool color, and this is supposed to be waterproof, so we'll give that a shot, okay? So let's start, I'm gonna do some lines, and also we're gonna test out the originals. So let's do that right now. Okay, since I'm a lefty, I decided to change up the angle a bit. Okay, let's start with just some crappy computer paper. This is the Ocean. This is the Dr. Peach Martin Ocean. Ocean. Okay, let's just draw it here quick. Okay, let's use a brush too. I'm going to use a Raphael. This is a sable brush. So similar to the Winsor Newton Series 7s. This is like a Raphael brush. Or no, this is Da Vinci brush. So fountain pen ink, you can use brushes. You can use whatever you want, right? I want to test the blacks. I want to test how the blacks look on this. And why don't we use a nib real quick too, just for the hell of it. And we'll use this little nib here. We're just kind of playing with it. Okay. So curious about this, how this is gonna play out. Very curious. Okay, that's the Ocean. Oh, why don't we do it all with the other papers too, right? Why don't we? So I'll put this. Let's take a look here. Okay. We're going to do it on the Bristol board. This will be interesting too. I'm curious about this. This is, to me, the real test. Okay. And I got to mark it too. Okay. Clean out the brush. Here. Let me just label it. Ocean. Dries pretty well, it doesn't dry super fast, but it's not horrible drying. Okay. That's the ocean. Very intrigued. If this works as good, oh my gosh. Okay. Should we test it with, let's test it with the original, the one that we love, which is this Black Star. This is my go-to. This is my baby. This is what I did Pariah, Missouri on. This is what I did Shangri-La States on my Patreon. Go check it out. You can see that one on there. This is Black Star. So we'll go to Black Star. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just so black. It's so nice. So nice. Black Star. Okay. Love Black Star. Okay. And we'll put a bit of Black Star here. Oh, this was Ocean. We gotta put the right thing. So Black Star. Okay. Should we do a little bit of brush? There's a tiny bit of brush. Why not? Okay. Next, let's do the repeatograph. Now this one, I only use this for brush because just because I don't want to put a nib. There's no way I'd have to pour in some kind of a bottle, all that jazz. So we don't do that. So we use the repeatograph ink for brush work. So I'm doing this for, say, stuff like big chunky black stuff, you know, big spotting blacks. If I am doing a big piece, I use this. So let's do a little bit of this. Again, we'll go back to the Da Vinci sable brush. Sable brushes are made from the animal sable, which is just better quality than the synthetics. Now they're a lot more expensive though. Okay, this is repeatograph. Oh, see, the ocean was still rapido. Okay, and let's just take a look at this. A little bit of feathering there, if I see right. I'll take my glasses off because I don't really need my glasses to do this kind of stuff. Okay, let's put a little bit more. Probably use too much. This stuff's kind of precious. Okay, let's go here. Let's put some repeatograph. Rapid. We're just going to do a couple lines. We're just doing lines because what we're going to do is we're going to put water over this whole thing. We're going to test it. We're going to test how these mamas look. And we're going to put it here too. Rapid. Okay. Maybe we'll make a little tree, a little happy tree. Happy trees. Okay, little tree. So. Okay, good. It's hard to tell on the computer paper. On the Bristol, you can definitely tell. I'm actually seeing these all really good blacks. There's not a big standout, which is great news. Okay, good. So that's the blacks, except for now the carbon ink. This I'm excited about. This is new for me. I just bought this. but a lot of people swear by it, and for some reason I had been sleeping on it. I did not know that there was a really good waterproof fountain pen ink. So now that I've uncovered this, and it's got a weird little mechanism for loading your pen. Now I don't have a fountain pen right away that I'm going to use for it. That's okay. I think we'll get the gist of this. This is the carbon ink, okay? Carbon. Okay. Okay, let's do a little bit of, did I just make a smear? I'm not. Okay, let's do a little bit of brush. A little bit of brush too on the carbon. Just want to get a nice big, I want to get a big swath of that black on here. I want to make sure I okay, and then the Bristol board. Oh, look at that. See, it's kind of, I didn't let that dry very good, did I? Okay, that was my bad. Okay. Okay, carbon's done. Now, we got a couple colors. And then we're going to do something else. Let's try that out. Okay, so let's do the blue, the Sailor. We'll do the Sailor. Now the Sailor, they said they're waterproof too. Let's give that a shot. Now, this has Sailor in it. So, look at that. It's still wet right there. Sailor. Okay. 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 And we'll do some Sailor here too. Let's use a brush because I want to test this really good. I really want to see. I've never really used brushes on, look at that, yeah. Never really used brushes with fountain pen ink, right? It's like, you can see the feathering in this. Yeah, more so than the others, for sure. Yeah, you can see it's not really meant for this kind of work. It's just such a thinner mixture that when you put it on heavy with a brush like this, I don't think it likes it necessarily. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's also use this. Should we use a quill? I mean, we could, I guess. Again, kind of experimenting here because we don't really use this, but we can. It actually puts down good ink with the Croco versus the fountain pen. Okay, and lastly, let's try this guy, this new guy. This is a company called Lemon Toolbar, and this color is Sunset Glow. So I'm curious about this as well. Now I don't have a fountain pen for this, so we're going to use, again, we're going to use my Deleter G1 nib, and we're going to use a brush. And I don't know if that's going to work, to be honest. But, ooh, it does work. I'm getting a little bit of residue from the black in here, but that's okay. It's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. Let's do it over here too. Can you guys see this? So you can see what I'm doing. Oh, it feathers big time. Feathering is when it kind of spreads out. Yeah, big time. Big time. But that's okay. That's pretty. Look at that. That's a pretty color. I'm curious to see how it's going to look when it dries. See the nice, what's pretty about this is see how the color kind of changes as the level of ink gets on there. Okay, let's use a brush. We're going to use a little bit of brush, right? Let's see, where was my brush? There it is. Okay, is this clean enough? Okay. I don't know if it's going to work though. Yeah, it does work. Little tree. We're doing trees today, I guess. And we'll do this. Okay. And then on this computer paper, I'll go right here. Okay, now let's let this dry for just a few minutes, and then we're going to throw some water on it, and we'll take a look at what we think is the best and all that jazz. So 1 second. Okay, guys, now before we put some watercolor on here to test the waterproof, I just want to make a couple observations on the blacks. The blacks, if I'm going to do like a which is the blackest of the blacks, I'm going to still have to say that the Black Star and maybe the Carbon are the best, followed by the Rapidograph, and then the Ocean is last for the cheap paper. For the Bristol board, it's hard to say. Again, the Black Star is so damn good, but the Ocean doesn't look bad at all. Rapidograph and the Carbon look great too. So maybe on good paper, it doesn't really matter too much. When you look at the sketch paper, again, very similar, but the Rapidograph, yeah, the Black Star, maybe the Ocean is the less of the four, but not by a whole lot. You know, and in reality, you don't do side-by-side tests of different inks, so it's like, it's okay. So I'm still going to say the Black Star is probably the best as far as just black. The best black. The Rapidograph is great. The Carbon is good. And the Ocean is just okay, if I'm going to compare. Or just, it's good, but it's just not like the best. Little note, this is beautiful. I love the color of this damn ink. This is a really pretty color. Don't know how it's going to work when I'm writing a letter, you know, because if it's not strong enough to read, that might be a challenge. But it is a pretty, look how pretty this is. Just really like those colors. So now that said, and the blue's good. You know, I'm just not feeling the sailor or something you can draw with, but let's take a look. So next step, let's grab a brush, which I have here. Let's grab some watercolor. We're going to just dip it in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some color, and I'm just going to slather this with water and color, because I don't know, I just don't want to do just plain water. It's kind of boring. And then we're going to take a look at it. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to water this up. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to see what is really waterproof. I'm already seeing something on that Ocean. I'm seeing some discrepancies. The Sailor too. I'm already seeing some bleeding on both the Saber and the Ocean. But okay, we'll let that dry. I'm not going to do a verdict. This, I mean, I don't even know. This is computer paper, so it's all shitty. But look, right away, you can see that. You see that on the ocean. It's already kind of coming off. Yeah. Black Star, of course, is great. The repeatograph, of course, is great. We expected those. The carbon, though, curious about that. I'm curious about the Sailor. Oh, and down here. Okay, let that dry. Take a minute. Yeah, the ocean is not as advertised. Okay, at least on the cheap paper. Let's look at this. Oh, look at that. Do you see how the water... Look, this is not waterproof. Yeah, my butt. Might be water resistant or water something. Let's look at this. Yeah, even that. Look, you can see the yellow coming out. You see that? It's not horrible. Not as bad as the blue, but you can see water coming off it. Now let's look at these guys. Yeah, these guys we know are going to look good. The carbon is great. I'm seeing the carbon just as good as the others. Let's look at the ocean. That was the one we were a little worried about. Yeah, I can see a little coming off the ocean a bit. It's not horrible. Okay, let's let these dry, and then let's take a final look. Okay, we're back. We're getting pretty dry here on the Bristol. Here's what we've learned. The Sailor is just not waterproof. I'm seeing smudges in here. Black Star, of course, we knew. Repeatograph, we knew. The carbon ink holds up just as good as the Repeatograph and Black Star. So I say, if you have a fountain pen that you want waterproof, or you want to use this for comics or whatever, you can use this. Again, you should use proper India ink for comic books, but this freaking works. This feels like it works, okay? The ocean, there's a little bit of something here. Now, it could be because I am using, you saw me fill this up. I could not have potentially cleaned it all the way. So some of this could be a residue, like on this here and here. You might see a little bit of blue coming out. That might be a residue from the Diamante that was in there before, this Aurora Borealis. So I don't want to kill off the ocean as a contender, but if I had to, I would say get the carbon ink if you want waterproof ink in your fountain pen. The Sailor, no, just not even. And this is actually pretty good though. The lemon toolbar is actually pretty damn good. There is no bleed at all in the computer paper or in the Bristol board, and maybe a little bit in the sketch, but I don't know. It is so pretty though. I love this damn color. I would say this is pretty good waterproof. Okay. These are my winners. This one not so much, and this looks beautiful. You just can't color over it, right? But if you do comics, again, I'm gonna say go to Black Star. It's the way to go. And I love this repeatograph. It's just so damn dark. So there you go. That's our little test. That was fun. It's kind of a neat little adventure. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing, this channel is all about comics, the craft, the instruments, the tools we use, the storytelling, the art, illustration, all that kind of stuff. So subscribe, like the video, check out my other stuff. If you want to see my comics, I'm actually starting a new one over here called The Prophet's Murder. Over yonder, these pages right here, see those? No, you can't. Let me move the camera over a little bit. These guys, these over here. I got some new pages I'm working on. So go check out my Patreon and you can see what's going down. I'm working on something here, guys. Anyway, so there you go. Thanks for watching and talk to you later. Bye.